Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, The Reader Teacher. My name's Scott. It's the start of July, so this video is episode 7 of series 5 of Coming Soon, and it previews the upcoming books for the month of July 2025. As always, I'll be going through them in release date order, and where they have the same release date, then they'll be alphabetically by title. If you just want to hear about a specific book, then make sure to use the timestamps in the description box below. I hope this video helps you to discover more children's books to add to your TBRs, and there's always plenty more throughout the year, so make sure to leave me a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Also, all the links to the books that I mention in this video will also be in the description below. So, let's take a look at the books. First up is Bessie's Bees, out on the 3rd of July, a picture book about starting nursery when your mind is full of busy thoughts. Bessie's head is packed with bees, and whilst that's just fine at home, things feel different at nursery. She tries to hide her bees, but they grow louder and harder to contain. With a little help from Granny, Bessie finds a way to let her bees out and feel like herself again. This promises to be a warm, uplifting story about embracing who you are, and looks perfect for opening up gentle conversations about neurodiversity. Thanks Templar Books for the beautiful finished copy. Setting sail on the 3rd of July is Cruise Ship Kid, Thief at Sea, the first book in a brand new detective series set aboard a cruise ship. However, Silver isn't a detective. She just lives at sea, has no best friend her age, and really wants to make one. So when a bunch of mega expensive watches go missing, she decides to investigate and crack the case herself. With some unexpected help from a gang of bingo-loving pensioners, she's determined to catch the thief. Told in diary form, this looks like a fantastic, fun and fast-paced mystery. Thanks Usborne for the finished copy. Also out on the 3rd of July, this book follows Dante as he starts fresh at a very unusual school. After a pants-down disaster at his last one, he's ready to reinvent himself, make friends and leave the embarrassment behind. But Purge School is no ordinary place. It's packed with mythical creatures and chaos. And when he's roped into a dangerous school-wide contest, Dante realises proving himself won't just be about popularity, it's survival. To prove he's not a loser, Dante's got to survive school in the underworld, literally. Thanks Macmillan for the finished copy. Set against the tense backdrop of Amritsar, India in 1919, this book brings a powerful moment in history to life and tells the story of 12-year-old Arjun Singh, who races against time to save his father, who's been falsely accused of serious crimes. After a brutal massacre leaves the city under curfew and fear in the air, he faces armed soldiers, strict martial law and dangerous bandits on his mission. As tensions rise and violence threatens to explode again, Arjun's courage will be tested like never before. Thanks Bloomsbury for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. In Megamess, out on the 3rd of July, Ben is a master of mess. He never tidies up and all his rubbish piles up under his bed. But one day it comes to life as Megamess, a giant, walking, talking pile of rubbish. And together they create the messiest mess ever. First in the town, then the country, and soon the whole world is covered. And as the mess spreads, Ben begins to realise that the fun has its limits and that tidying up might be the biggest challenge. But when Megamess sends Ben out to sea, he faces the real impact of it all. Thanks Templar Books for the finished copy. The third book in the Mission MicroRaptor series, Mission Monstermind, out on the 3rd of July, sends junior agents Finn, Milo and Tassie to Scotland alongside young hacker Ether and Artie the MicroRaptor. Their mission? Recover stolen technology that could plunge the world into crisis. When they accidentally awaken a monster from the deep, the stakes rise even higher. So racing against time to stop the villain's plan, the team must call on every trick they know to prevent disaster. But can they outsmart a monster and a mind in control? Thanks Chicken House for the finished copy. Little Mo the mouse is throwing a birthday party in No Cheese Please, and his friends have brought all cheesy treats of every kind. There's even a dinosaur made of cheese. But Mo is allergic to dairy, so they have to come up with a clever plan to make sure that he can still enjoy his special day. Along the way, they face plenty of challenges trying to keep the party going, and they soon learn that sometimes the best celebrations come from working together and thinking outside the box. Big thanks, Nosy Crow, for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. When Jamie and July meet for the first time at Waterloo Station in Runaways out on the 3rd of July, neither of them expects their last week of the holidays to turn into an adventure. Both are running from their own troubles. July is worried about her unreliable mum, and Jamie is constantly haunted by a big mistake he's made. So they decide to explore London together. But as they dodge dangers and meet new faces, their journey becomes more than just escape. It's about finding courage and trust in each other. And can either of them find somewhere that finally feels like home? Thanks, Bloomsbury, for the finished copy. Kofi's life takes a turn when he wins a place at a top private school thanks to his talent on the track in running my own race out on the 3rd of July. With big dreams of becoming a professional athlete, he faces more than just races. There's pressure from his mum to succeed academically, a best friend worried about losing him, a community counting on him, and a rival determined to stop him in his tracks. Caught between all these expectations, Kofi must figure out how to stay true to himself and find his own way forward. Thanks, Nosy Crow, for the finished copy. Blending real-life stories from inspiring athletes with Danielle Brown's own gold medal journey, Shoot for the Stars out on the 3rd of July offers practical ways to build resilience, stay motivated and bounce back from setbacks in sport and beyond. From pep talks and quizzes to champion advice and team tips, it's packed with encouragement for anyone finding their feet in sport, whether you're chasing a medal or just starting out. Big thanks, little tiger, for the finished copy. Sid the dog is happiest when he's with his best friend Sam. They spend their days playing, napping and enjoying time at the park with friends. But Sid starts to notice that something isn't quite right. Sam seems tired, and one day he's gone. As Sid struggles with sadness and confusion, Sophie and her mum gently help him through the hardest days. And slowly, Sid begins to understand that while some things change, love and friendship can still be found. Thanks, Anderson Press, for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. On a day out with his dad, the boy in Super Me, out on the 3rd of July, is on a mission to find real superheroes. The kind that are fast, strong and great at saving the day. But every time he thinks he spotted one, he comes away empty-handed. With gentle encouragement, his dad begins to show him the quiet, everyday ways he already has those powers within. And so what starts as a search for capes and masks becomes a celebration of love, bravery and being your very own kind of hero. Thanks, Simon & Schuster, for the gorgeous finished copy. Ephra belongs to a secret river-dwelling people called Larkers, guild scavengers hidden amongst the mud banks in The Girl with Gills, out on the 3rd of July. Since her grandfather died, she's tried her best to care for her brother Fleet. But when he's threatened by the villainous Riverman, Ephra is forced into a dangerous quest, on which she must face a river serpent, bargain with Mother River, and journey into the city's darkest corners. With help from a sharp-tongued sewer rat and a brave landlubber girl, Ephra must set out to protect her world and discover she's stronger than she ever knew. Thanks, Ephra, for the finished copy. Starting school is a big step, and the hug button out on the 3rd of July beautifully captures those wobbly feelings. On her very first day at the Meadows, Matilda misses her mum terribly when she has to say goodbye. But then Mum comes up with a lovely idea, drawing a pair of hug buttons on their wrists so they can send hugs across the distance whenever they need. As Matilda navigates her new school day, she discovers that love and comfort can be just a press away. Thanks, Oxford Children's, for the finished copy. Puskin has always lived happily with his owner, 11-year-old Lottie. Their bond feels unbreakable. That is, until cats are blamed for the decline of birds and insects nearby. Determined to protect his fellow cats on the cul-de-sac, Puskin sets off on a journey to a hidden island at the very edge of the country. When Lottie tries to bring him back, she soon realises that for Puskin to survive, she may have to say goodbye. Could this really be the end of their adventure together? Thanks Simon & Schuster for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. Gwyn isn't interested in acting like a lady in The Mythmakers out on the 3rd of July because she'd rather fight with her wooden sword than weave tapestries. When her father brings her to the royal court at Tintagel, she meets Merlin, a wild boy with strange powers who needs her help. Together with the young Prince Arthur, they go on a journey across ancient Britain. Along the way they face giants, mermaids, unicorns and witches, all whilst racing to stop a dangerous plan that could steal the very heart of magic from the land. Thanks Puffin for the stunning hardback finished copy. It's the year 3897 in the future, and the Starlight Rebel out on the 3rd of July centres on main character Astropher Nova, who's neurodivergent and about to turn 11. At her work path allocation ceremony, she's disappointed to be sent to the doll sock factory, especially compared to her sporty, high-achieving twin brother Blaze. But when she starts uncovering hidden secrets about their neon-lit world, where no one remembers the stars above them, she joins a group of unlikely friends, including one from very far away, to challenge the rules. And together, they might just have what it takes to change everything. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. At the End of the Garden, The Wood Where Magic Grows, the first book in a brand new illustrated series by Andy Shepherd, best-selling author of The Boy Who Grew Dragons, invites readers into Wildtop Wood, a tangled, overgrown forest full of surprises. Here, Iggy and his brother Cal discover a world high in the treetops where animals seem to guide them towards a secret hidden deep inside. As they explore, whispers of fading green magic hint that their wood might need their help as much as they need its wonder. Together they step into an adventure full of mystery and magic. Thanks Piccadilly Press for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. Imagine discovering an ancient treasure chest buried in your garden, packed with 20 curious items hidden thousands of years ago by a child living in ancient Rome. Well, that's exactly what There Was a Roman in Your Garden out on the 3rd of July reveals. Inside you'll find fascinating objects, from armour made of real crocodile skin to clues about the world's first pizza. As you explore each treasure, you'll piece together the story of a Roman child's everyday life and adventures. So get ready to dig into history like never before. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. Our world is full of incredible things, but have you ever thought about the order they've happened in? Well, find out in What Came First out on the 3rd of July, in this book that pits those things against each other in a competition to discover the earliest one. Did pants come before socks? Or were flushing toilets invented before toilet paper? This book answers those mysteries and many more, exploring everything from animals and inventions to history and science. As you explore each page, you'll see how these discoveries are connected and how they've shaped our world in unexpected ways. Thanks Farshaw for the finished copy. What would it be like if your dog could suddenly talk and turn into a wolf? That's the incredible adventure Will and his dog Whisker find themselves on when they're pulled into a magical world. Together they explore moonlit forests and face tricky dangers, discovering secrets that could change everything they know. As they journey deeper, they realise their friendship might be the key to overcoming the challenges ahead. But will their bond be strong enough to help them find a way home? Thanks David Ficklin Books for the finished copy that's out on the 3rd of July. Looking for a book that will have you laughing out loud? You can always count on Olaf Falafel to deliver the funniest, silliest jokes that will keep kids and grown-ups grinning from start to finish. From bouncing poo to carrots that sound like parrots, this collection out on the 10th of July is packed with playful riddles and cheeky punchlines that keep the fun bouncing along. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. Meet Maureen, Titchyfish and Ada, three fantastic friends who love to sing in their splashy sea home in perfect harmony out on the 10th of July. But when a squabble makes their song stop, trouble appears in the form of Tabby McClaw, a sneaky alley cat who is watching and wants to catch Ada. As the waves get wilder, the friends must find a way to come together. Can this trio fix their friendship and keep Ada safe from the prowling cat? Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. The poetry world of John Agard, out on the 10th of July, brings together over 80 poems from 8 of his favourite collections. A celebrated and legendary poet, known for his lively and playful style, these poems explore all sorts of themes, from funny stories and playful sounds to thoughtful ideas about animals, family and the world around us. Using a mix of rhythms, this book shows how poetry can turn everyday moments and big ideas into vivid, memorable experiences that connect with children and adults alike. Thanks Otterbury Books for the finished copy. Out on the 17th of July is Sammy Feels Shy, the latest book in Tom Percival's Big Bright Feelings series. Sammy loves to have fun, but at school he starts to feel nervous around others and isn't sure what to say. When things go wrong and he feels like everyone's watching, he turns pink, then pinker, until he's completely bright pink. Can he find a way to understand his feelings and feel like himself again? These books are always a brilliant springboard for conversations about big emotions and being yourself, so thanks Bloomsbury for the finished copy. What is a bug, really? Are bugs and insects the same thing? Where do they live? What do they eat? And how do they grow? So many questions. Well, out on the 24th of July, readers can explore all these in the wild and wonderful world of mini-beasts in this book. From ants with super strength to bugs with X-ray vision, and even spiders bigger than your hand. Packed with fascinating facts, lively illustrations, and loads of answers to curious questions, it reveals just how weird, clever, and important bugs really are, even the ones we think are a bit pesky. Big thanks Beastmore Publishing for the finished copy. Also out on the 24th of July is The Great Green Island by debut author-illustrator Becky Colvin. Ali lives on a bustling island where life moves fast and no one has time to explore. But when the island's entire fish supply disappears overnight, Ali sets off to uncover the truth, and what she finds is more magical than she ever imagined. With echoes of folklore and a deep love for nature, this is a gentle adventure that invites readers to slow down, look closer and rediscover the wonder all around them. Thanks Macmillan for the finished copy. Got a granny stuck on a runaway train? Or maybe a shark to outsmart? A jumbo jet to lift? Or an island to escape from? Well, How to Save Your Granny from a Runaway Train, out on the 31st of July, is packed with ridiculously wild and wacky dilemmas, and they're all solved using the power of physics. So jump into these hilarious challenges and discover the science behind them, with fun, easy experiments you can also try at home. If you love brilliant brains, belly laughs and action-packed adventures, this one's made for you. Huge thanks Farshaw for the finished copy. Visit Ollie Pest Island, a place where houses grant wishes and hidden alleyways lead to secret worlds, in the Museum of Lost Umbrellas, out on the 31st of July. And it's where young Dilly arrives, but is unsure what magic awaits her. When the long-shuttered museum reopens, it stirs ancient powers and draws dangerous outsiders determined to snuff out the island's magic. Now, Dilly must uncover her own mysterious heritage and rise to protect the place that she's learning to call home. Thanks Faber for the finished copy. Helm is a city bursting with magic, where houses turn to gingerbread and floors can melt into lava. But in the spick and the span, the real heroes aren't magicians. They're the cleaners who manage the wild magical mishaps no one else can handle. 12-year-old Ward dreams of joining their elite league, but when his friend disappears and magic-eating monsters tear holes in reality, Ward's race to save the city begins. He'll have to face impossible tests and find out the secrets behind the strange magical disturbances. Thanks HarperCollins for the finished copy that's out on the 31st of July. Lastly is Unfairies by Hugh Aaron, out on the 31st of July. The first book in a brand new full-colour graphic novel series that flips fairies on their heads. Forget the sweet kind fairies you've heard about. Oh no, because these Unfairies are absolute mischief makers and about as magical as a soggy slug. Join Pip as he stumbles through turf wars between fierce Unfairy clans, dodges shady schemes and even gets tangled up in some seriously gross bug bum honey. With book 2 coming out next year, the adventure is only just getting started. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. So these are the books I'm most excited about reading this month. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel below. As always, keep reading, and I'll see you in the next video.